Laura's in Lisbon Falls, and Steve Yenko lives in Lisbon Falls. Steve, you nailed this from the get-go. You told me on Wednesday night about that boat launch, and you told me that what the Androscoggin River looked like, and this turns out to be the place where they found his body, just off of this river. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you think could be about the location? You know that river better than I. You know where the boat launch is, and you know where all that activity was.
Yeah, so from where they found his body to where the boat launch was, it's probably, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile or so. Probably less than a mile, probably more like 3/4 to a half a mile from where they found his car on late Wednesday night. And
so that'd be like downriver, right? Because you mentioned it was about a mile from the boat launch to downtown. So he would have gone downriver, possibly in his Bayliner or his Sea-Doo?
No, they found no boats. There's a walking trail there, so I would presume he probably took the walking trail and then cut up into the industrial park to where the main recycling building is.
So how far is the recycling building from the river? If, you know, I know you said that pathway, you know, it goes down that river as well. How far would that recycling area where his body was found be from the pathway that he might have taken from the boat ramp?
Maybe a couple hundred yards, maybe a couple football fields, 2-3 football field lengths. I mean, you could actually stand in the yard of the recycling center and look out and see the river.
So this makes perfect sense. It looks like we're, you know, obviously forensically just trying to put the picture together of what he did after he finished shooting at the Schmeggy's Bar and Grill, which was his second location. He got in that vehicle and he drove from Louisville to Lisbon Falls to that boat ramp, and the official name of that boat ramp, Paper Mills Trail and Miller Park Boat Launch. Let the car go there. That's where they discovered his car. Some say with a gun inside. Don't know if it was the murder weapon or not. And then took the walking trail downriver from there, about 3/4 of a mile, and then a few hundred yards in from the river, he would have found himself at his old place of work, the recycling plant. Did I say that right?
Yeah, that's pretty much how I would say it went. I would have doubt with what he did, he would have walked along the highway, so I presume he most would have taken the walking trail where it was lit, and from point A to point B, it might have been a 10-minute, 15-minute walk, depending upon how fast or how slow you were walking.
Yeah, pardon me, I misspoke. I said Louisville is Lewiston, of course. I mean, he would know absolutely. He's an avid deer hunter. He was an avid deer hunter. He would know this area. He was a boater, so he would know those pathways. He would know that river, and he would know certainly where he used to work, a place where they let him go or fired him. We don't know yet what the circumstances were of him being unemployed from that recycling plant. But I am curious, Steve, if you heard of any reports of gunfire around that recycling plant in any of the last 50 hours. Did anyone report that they'd heard any gunshots?
Not that I know of. Nobody has, that I talked to, of anything that I have heard, has said there was any gunshots in that area at any time over the past couple of days.
That's pretty remarkable in itself, just given how loud that would have been on a night when everybody was on high alert. That maybe it was just the chaos of it all, that there was lots of, you know, sirens perhaps, and a lot of din of activity, that people might have just missed those gunshots. And maybe it didn't happen then. Maybe it happened over the last 2 nights. It's hard to say. Steve, can't thank you enough.
It could have happened any time. It could have happened any time, but I think I can speak for all the people here in Lisbon Falls and the state of Maine. We're all going to breathe a sigh of relief and sleep much better tonight.
Just like your Governor Janet Mills said, and I'll re-quote her because it's worth hearing. Tonight, the city of Lewiston and the state of Maine move forward on a long, difficult road to healing, but we will heal. Robert Card is dead. We breathe a sigh of relief. No longer a threat to anyone. Steve Yenko, you've been invaluable to our coverage. I can't thank you enough. And God bless you and your community as you heal from this, because it is a long road. And I appreciate what you've done to help us understand where we are in all of it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good night.
Steve, thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.